Preston O'Phil.
I'm Colin Glowinky.
And today we're hanging out. We're talking nerdy stuff. You guys wanted to see more of it, so we're going to be giving it to you. I know I've got a couple different nerdy hobbies and nerdy things I love. And Colin, you got a few too, right?
I do, and they're not like the common nerdy hobbies that like people would think. It's not like, oh my God, you love superheroes. It's like, no, I'm much deeper than that.
What's deeper than superheroes, Colin?
Are you so much deeper than superheroes is chess.
Are you really a chess guy? What are you, 40 years old? Which isn't that old, I guess.
I very recently started to be like, chess is a really cool game, and I play like at least 20 games a day.
Get out of here. 20 games a day.
Do you know how easy it is to play a game of chess against someone?
Are you doing online?
Of course.
Of
yeah.
course. Okay.
So easy.
Okay.
So easy. Warm up with like 2 games against a bot, play like 20 games, win some, lose some.
Is this because of Queen's Gambit?
No. Much more random.
What's more random than a
chess boxing?
Okay.
I've heard about chess boxing, and I was like, I like boxing, but I don't like chess, and I'm not very good at boxing. Maybe I could get good at chess boxing.
Why couldn't, if I'm not good at boxing and I'm okay at chess, why wouldn't I be superior at both?
Exactly. And especially like how good at chess are you going to be after boxing for 3 rounds, you know?
I don't. I don't. That is so you're telling me this is a chess game where people are boxing.
So it goes like this. So you've got your first round is chess.
Right.
So you've got like a minute and a half-ish. It depends on time and rules and regulations and such, but you've got like a minute and a half.
Rules in chess boxing.
Between,
sure.
between like the 2 people, because chess also has a time limit, as you know. So they'll play a 5-minute game, which means each player has 5 minutes to make their moves. But if you just played that game, you would never get to the boxing. So you have like a minute and a half to 2 minutes of chess, and then you'll go to the first round of boxing.
And you just beat the crud out of people?
I mean, you know boxing.
I know boxing. I used to box for a couple of years, but it's also like, and many years ago, let me remind you. But I never got into chess. But the few times I've played chess, I've never been like, this is a perfect time to punch my dad in the face.
It doesn't necessarily lend itself to it. And I think that's why I was so intrigued. Is because when you say chess boxing, I'm like, that sounds like someone got in a fight to start this. And then they were like, you know what? I'm not that upset. Let's play some more chess. And then they got mad again. And they were like, this is a good sport.
When you play chess boxing, all right, some questions for you.
I've never chess boxed, by the way.
Well, wait till the next episode, because I think we've got our next game, Cody. My question for you is, while chess boxing, are you moving the pieces with gloves still on?
No. So you can either take like one glove off, both gloves off, but you still have to keep the hand wraps on themselves.
So your fingers are movable.
Yeah. Like you can like grab like fingers and stuff like that.
Oh, it's chess boxing.
Yes, it's chess boxing.
You're showing us chess boxing.
Ludwig had a chess tournament, a chess boxing tournament, not too long ago.
What the heck?
Yeah, pretty wild stuff. It is very fun looking.
Bro, these nerds are about to wail on each other.
I'm sorry, nerds. Do you see that, man?
He is pretty ripped. My glasses weren't all the way on. Yeah, Cody just jumbled his belly at me.
I'll work out.
Oh my God, they are really gonna do this?
No, seriously, it's a nerdy thing. It's like a strong nerdy thing.
No, don't pull it away before the fight. He's gonna skip to the good stuff.
Yeah, okay. But I think that's got me like into chess because
I'm hooked. Look at this thing.
They're boxing. They're fighting each other. They're punching each other in the head, and then they're gonna go play chess.
Look at this guy counting to a chess guy like he doesn't know what numbers are. Oh my God, he's like
great.
hit.
Yeah. His like headgear's messed up. Like
I know I probably to you sound crazy that I'm like, this is nuts.
No,
you're used to this now.
It's pretty wild. I objectively, like I said, chess, boxing, not really something you would think about.
No, and they clear, I didn't see, they clear the table out of the ring before the fight.
Yes.
Okay, so it's nice because it's like they play chess for, you said, a minute and a half or 2 minutes?
Depends on the rules, but like about like a period of time. And then there's another period of time where they're like, all right, get ready to fight. Then they fight, and then the fight's over, and then they have to set everything back up. So it's a little bit more than 5 minutes. This thing lasts for a little bit. Oh, it's a longer fight.
My God.
So after that they go and they play chess, and then
these sweaty guys now.
Yeah.
Putting on headphones.
Playing a gentleman's war game.
I like that you're right, the hand wraps are still on, so they kind of look like they're fingerless gloves.
Oh.
And they're just chimney sweeps who are like, oi, oi, don't you want to play a little chess? No, I want to be the black team. No, I don't.
It's really fun. I think chess is a really approachable game. It's very simple, and when you play it online, like you could be really bad and it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to teach kids to play chess, definitely be like, your options are chess or chess boxing. Which one do you want to learn? And the kids can be like, I guess just regular chess.
This is the podcast where we watch chess boxing.
Yeah, welcome to the MMA podcast. Oh my God, he's really
wailing on each other. Yeah.
This is hilarious. Wow. Colin, you spend your time well.
Thank you very much. I've tried very hard.
Well, now, so
Cody,
up to 5 years later, Preston's going to be the new Joe Rogan of chess boxing.
And if I'm not commentating, I'm pissed. Be great.
I think that would be a very fun gig. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Me just forgetting to wear my glasses to every event and just like death squinting trying to announce the thing. So I will say this. That is a pretty nerdy thing, and also a kind of unique sport.
Yeah.
When did you get into it? COVID or
like a couple of months ago, I really started
very
to get
fresh.
Yeah, very fresh into it. I've like more like nerdy than that. I've gotten into Warhammer 40K in the last couple of years, which is like a
I'm
pretty
so
nerdy
interested in this because that's the movie that Superman's going to be in, right?
It is. Henry Cavill.
We're going to call him Cavill because that's cooler. Cavill. I believe it's Cavill. But
Cavill,
you know what I do know is the man is handsome.
He's a very handsome man.
Handsome. Let's be honest. We all know how handsome this guy is.
He's a very good looking man.
But he also he talks about how he had to dehydrate himself for a lot of the movies that he does to make sure his big muscular manly veins stick out of his skin. Oh, I want to look like that.
It's the problem is
I won't do the work though.
That's the hard part. Like the dehydration and the dieting and all that stuff is really, from what I've heard, because I also won't do it, is very hard and not fun.
Did you see? I'm really showing all my cards here. He posted a thirst trap of him just in a tank top building a computer from scratch.
Oh yeah. At that moment, I think I built my PC like a couple of months earlier, so I was like, he just like me for real.
He's so relatable. Henry.
Yeah,
that's it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Boulder shoulders.
We'll take a sip for that.
Goodness.
Huh? Hey, here's to Henry, huh?
Here's to Henry.
Come on the podcast.
Henry, Jesus. Cast me as anything.
He is
great.
Yeah, talented and extremely handsome.
Yeah.
And I loved in Man of Steel that he wore a Jayhawk shirt and a Royal shirt in it because he's in Kansas.
That's
as
right.
a boy from Kansas. I respected the representation.
And did that feel nice? Did that feel good to see a really handsome man in a shirt you like?
Yes. I mean, I see it every day in the mirror. But
he has me taped up in his mirror.
I do. I just have Colin just duct taped to the mirror. No, but I was in the movie theater when that movie came out in Kansas. And when the Jayhawk shirt was worn, the whole theater was like, yeah. It's like, God, we are easily pleasable. But he's doing the Warhammer movie now, right?
Yes.
That's all I know about Warhammer. And now that it's a movie, I know that they have... let me tell you everything I know.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
As someone who knows nothing to an expert. This is something you love.
Here's the problem is there's like more than 20 books of like Warhammer lore.
Books? I thought it was a video game.
Haha. We're gonna talk.
There's books.
It goes back to like the 80s. There's like years and years and years and years and years of lore. Like it's
wow.
Deep.
Okay, so I didn't know any of that. I would have told you it came out last year.
Nice.
Would have been my guess.
Nice.
I would have guessed that it was a Halo ripoff, which I guess if it goes back to the 80s, it is definitely not a Halo ripoff.
Yeah.
I know it's big armor people, and they're like the top tier warriors or something, but they're people inside of suits, right?
Correct. I believe you're talking about Space Marines. Does that sound correct? You don't know.
I don't know.
Hell yeah, keep going.
I know in the trailer he takes off his helmet and it's just like a big he looks like one of the G.I. Joe soldiers from Toy Soldiers.
Are you talking about the Warhammer 2 Space Marine theatrical like cinematic trailer for the video game that's coming out that I'm also quite excited about?
This would be all I know.
Wow. No, great game, by the way.
Now, my question is, are those Space Marines, are
Yes.
they that big or is the armor that big?
So the Space Marines themselves are like 6 to 7 feet tall-ish in the armor, but
That's huge.
like maybe 8 feet,
Yeah.
kind of. But there's a many different. All right. So if we're gonna, is that everything you know?
I know that it's called Warhammer
Yeah.
and then 4K.
Yeah, 40K.
40K. Well, we don't have that yet. That's cool. 40K. What else do I know? Yeah, that Henry Cavill's gonna be in it, and
Yeah,
I
he is.
assume he's gonna be a Marine.
I honestly, so I'll. Does this look about right?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Fighting,
it's very
fighting them
violent.
bugs.
Oh, was that a chainsaw?
It's a chain sword.
Oh, Gears of War was a video game I played.
There you go. There you go.
I'm hip.
No, this is helping me. This will help with the, because there's a lot of like terms that they use in.
Oh, sure.
Warhammer.
No, this looks like a nice, deep, nerdy. Every time I play D&D, like my dungeon master will just say terms, and
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this made up sequence of letters that you're like, we're gonna go find Belorgensnoff, and you're like, well, okay, that's our new ally.
We're going to get Belorgan
So
stuff.
I imagine Wark has got some Belorgensnoff.
Yeah. Warhammer 40K has a couple of
40K.
people that are just like that.
What do you think that Henry's gonna be playing Commander Yarrick or whatever?
The thing is I don't know what he would play, because pretty much every person in Warhammer is like mildly expendable, and you can kind of only play one person. And it I don't know, because there's a lot of really good stories. I'm just excited to see what Henry ends up doing with it.
Same. I mean, he is so talented.
Yes.
He did great with The Witcher. He did great with Superman. I'm gonna watch Warhammer just because he's in it for sure.
You should.
I should. And it's very interesting with the whole, I know it's so like yesterday's news, but you know, him getting kicked out of the DCU was crazy.
Yes.
And The Rock not letting him do a cameo, or wanting him to do a cameo, even though there was kind of already whispers that he was going to get kicked out. And it's like, you know, he announced that he was done, and then he's like, I guess I'm back. And then it's like, I guess I'm not. And it's like, ugh, I just fell for that guy.
It sucks.
It's just like, when do actors get a break? Even at like that high of a level, you'd think you'd get some sort of respect, and still they're like, oh no, you don't actually have the job that you thought. So now I think he's going to court, and they're trying to sue because there was a contract, yada yada. I don't know.
Well, I'm glad that he's like going and trying to fight for the things that he actually, believes in. I think that he wanted to make a good movie. The man genuinely cares about the fandoms that he has been a part of in the movie. And
Yeah. Well, you want to talk about a super nerd? That's him. This podcast has been watching boxing, chess, and then just one of us crushing on Henry Cavill. I'm not going to say which one, but Colin, chill out, man.
I'm sorry.
He's a handsome guy.
You've seen him build a PC.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. So here's a nerdy thing I'll tell you. During COVID, and Cody, you might want to pull this one up too. It is really fun. I got into marble racing. I don't know if you ever watched any of this.
I have seen some
but they
marble
used
racing.
to set up these like not only just like tracks that these marbles would race on, and they would name all the marbles, but they would also set up stands for little other marbles to sit in there and watch the marble races happen. And then I saw it because I think John Oliver did a special on it, did an episode on it, and it is just like they have little voiceovers of like and like storylines going on. Boom, right there. That is
so
a marble
good.
race. Look, they've dug out a whole desert track for these things to go on. And I watched it being like, this is silly. And then absolutely picked a marble and started getting into it and having marbles that I'd follow. I'm trying to remember any of the names because it was a deep pandemic hobby. And a lot of the hobbies that I picked up during the pandemic, thankfully I've stepped away from.
How many did you pick up during the pandemic?
This and drinking
Oh,
were
that's
a big
good.
one.
But you stepped away from marble racing. That's good.
I stumbled away from marble racing. But I just thought I got so into it and like just learning. They would give backstories to some of these. There was fandoms where people would like, I don't know if they actually took photos with the marbles, but they would post photos holding these marbles and be like, I found this marble. I'm with, yada, yada.
Were you writing fan fictions?
Am I writing fan fictions?
Are you writing Marvel fan fictions?
Yeah. Huge fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
That's right.
Speaking of which, I love superheroes too.
Yeah.
No, but that was something I was so deeply into, and I loved it. And it's not as cool as chess boxing, but it's something that I bet you could get into.
I don't know. I don't know. It's weird to say something is cooler than another thing,
That's
because
true. It's not a competition.
marble racing is kind of
Here's
cool.
another one for you. Taser ball was another one. This one's pretty good.
What?
That's pretty good. It's football, but they have tasers on them. Pull it up. It's very good.
Sorry.
Yes. So it started with, I was watching, they have those big inflatable see-through things that you can get your full body in, and you roll around on the ground and you bounce people off. That was fun. And then I found a clip of Bingo was their demo. Look, this dude's got a giant ball.
And he's just getting tased. And he's just getting tased. What is
This is not the craziest thing, right? So these people just get tasered throughout the game. And as someone who, have you ever been tasered?
No,
I've been
I haven't been like tased, but I've been shocked through like an outlet.
Yeah, not the same. I've been
Definitely
tasered
not
a
the
couple
same.
times. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got stories. One, when I was at my first job, I also sold tasers, and the person I was working for thought it would be wise to have me tasered since I was selling them, so I wouldn't sell them to underage people. What a thought process.
Did it work?
Well, he tasered me. Two, I did this thing called a Warrior Dash, which is like one of those midlife crisis kind of obstacle course kind of run things. I've done them with my brother. They're great. And one of the courses is there's mud up to like your shins, and then hanging from this little contraption they've built are like 50 to 100 exposed wires at the bottom that will electrocute you if you touch them. And they're like that high off the watery mud. And if you don't go fast enough through all of that, they have people on the sides with long cattle prods that'll shock you to go. So I'm like, let's freaking do this, right? I go through it. I get like a third of the way through, and I'm sure we've talked about my undeserved ego. I'm getting through it. I'm like, I'm not even getting shocked once. This is so much easier. And like the way that I like parted the wire, it like bent and touched my leg. And like in mid thought of like, I'm a champion. Nothing can take me down. My full body just locks up and I fall face forward down into the mud. And I'm like just so shocked. And it hurt a lot. And then I looked up and I was like, this can't get worse. And all the wires are just exposed right above my face. I'm like, oh. So made it through, never got cattle prodded, but I got shocked by those a bunch. So I've had an experience or two with electricity in my body, which is, really cool.
It sounds...
So I would play the heck out of this
You
game.
would play?
Absolutely, I would play taser ball. For sure.
Yeah,
You're not going to tackle me. I have a taser. Come at me.
But I also have a taser.
Yeah, but I'm not going to get tackled at least. And that's my biggest fear with
But
football.
he's getting tackled?
Am I crazy to say
No.
I would rather get tasered than tackled?
That's an interesting take, and I think
Is that
I would...
Crazy? Comment section. Would you rather get
Taser
tasered or
tackled?
100 times I'd rather get tackled. I might break a bone. In like a sports event, it's muddy out there. You saw in that shot. I don't want to get hurt.
That can't be good for you. If you're getting tased fairly...
Quick one.
Yeah,
See how quick those guys are getting tased.
I'm watching it.
Yeah.
I'm watching it. That's not doing any like...
I hope no one's coming up and like hugging me from the back and just like
I'm
jabbing
pretty
it.
sure I watched somebody run directly into another person and just like tase him like he was stabbed, like running him through in a pirate movie. It looked pretty bad.
Yard. Give me the ball.
Exactly.
I would like to play it where you get only two, but on each hip you have like the taser shooter. So you can be like, get out of my way, get out of my way. But you can only use it twice. I feel like that's a fair rule.
I think that would be a little bit better. You get pads, but you also get a taser.
Yes.
So you have to tase in the correct spot. You have a limited number of uses. I like where this is going.
I'm just saying, as a man who's been electrified, it's not I mean, it's self-defense and it cripples people who are attacking you. So, like, I know this sounds crazy, but it's not as bad as we think it is, I think.
Right. I would just get nervous about getting tased while I was in the air,
Yeah.
locking up, and then just hitting the ground full force.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and then dying.
Maybe not dying, but definitely getting pretty, like, because that's worse than getting tackled, because there's no one else to break your fall.
Fair point. Fair point. I didn't think about
You just hit the ground.
Yeah.
You can't break your fall. You just.
Well, here's an even worse sport for you.
Yeah.
It's bowling.
Chess boxing.
Chess boxing. It's bowling soccer. Have you watched this? Bowling ball soccer?
Oh, yes.
Yes. And they play barefoot and they're just smashing their feet into this thing. And it's like, what are you doing? But also, I can't stop watching. Yeah.
There's a lot of fun combat sports. I'm forgetting one. There's one where I believe it originated in Africa. They wrap their right hands, and then they I can't remember if they tie their left hands together, but they can only strike with the right hand.
Oh, and so they can't back away from each other. It's just punch, punch, punch.
Actually, I think you are allowed to back away from each other. I think I'm mixing sports here. I don't think you're tied together at the wrist. I think you are able to move away, but I could be wrong. They could just get tied up and just wail on each other.
That makes me think of, do you ever watch like arm wrestling?
Yes.
My biggest fear in arm wrestling is the snap. Did you ever see, what's Jeff Goldblum's The Fly?
Yes.
And he like arm wrestles a trucker dude, I think, and it just like, the bone pops out, and that has stuck with me for years. Oh my God. And so anytime I watch arm wrestle, I won't arm wrestle people for that single fear of like, if I pop a wrist or this bad boy goes, I'll pass out.
That's it for me.
I'm done. I don't want to. Round two.
Other arm. Like, it's not happening.
Yeah, a lot of weird sports out there. So not necessarily nerdy sports, but definitely something to delve into, get into a little bit.
Also a little nerdy, and this is, I think people are going to be a little surprised. Musicals. Musicals are a little nerdy.
We love musicals.
We do love musicals here.
Musicals are great. Show tunes are the best. I've been going through a bit of a renaissance with musicals.
What are you listening to?
Well, a couple different things. So something's going on with Beetlejuice. I don't know if it closed on Broadway or if it was just somebody's last performance.
Sure.
But my TikTok has been blowing up with that content. And as TikTok does, it was spot on. I wanted to listen to that stuff a lot. I loved that show. I think it was a very well done, movie to musical adaptation, which is happening a lot.
Yeah,
and
it is happening a lot.
There's people who are doing it just to get in on that cash cow and have another project out there, make more money on the same thing. And there are other people who are actually like supposed to be a good remake. Apparently, Notebook is supposed to be amazing.
Really?
Apparently. Did you ever see the movie?
Yeah.
Apparently, it's really good. I didn't get to see it though. So no real feedback there. I have been listening to Parade. Have you ever listened to that one?
No, I haven't.
Buddy. Jason Robert Brown.
I love Jason Robert Brown, but I have not listened to all of.
He's my man. He did what's that one? Last 5 Years? Do you know that one?
Yes, I do know Last 5 Years. Cody's got a musical?
So Beetlejuice, it was the lead who left recently.
Oh.
And apparently he had a horrible last night. There was a trap door that was supposed to open, didn't, full on ran into it full speed.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
that sucks.
Actors getting hurt on stage.
That's the worst. That's the Spider-Man musical.
Yeah, that one was crazy. Turn Off the Dark, I think is what it was called.
I believe so.
YouTube Music Spider-Man show. I had friends who went and saw it, and they said it was amazing to watch.
I can imagine, because there's a lot of really, really technical stunts in there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And like
the problem.
16 stunt people who were just going back and forth as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, like, getting hurt on stage. I've had some embarrassing falls. I've seen some embarrassing falls. I think the two that pop up in my head are both community theater, which is a great time. First off, support your local community theater. Go see shows. One of my favorite things, and it's something I haven't done in a while, but I'm going to be doing here in the next month, is just go see like a local high school show or go see like a local community show. It's never a lot of money, and it means a lot to the people who are putting it on. So go do it. It's a fun little date night. But let's talk about the bad ones. I went and saw a production of Music Man, and the lead threw up on stage and then slipped in his own vomit, which is, that's trouble right there.
Yeah,
right
that's
there in
pretty
River
bad.
City. That's capital T. That rhymes with P, and that's the end of the pool. Come on. A pool of vomit. And the other one is, are you familiar with Sweeney Todd?
I sang Epiphany.
Oh, come on. I love Sweeney Todd.
Yeah.
It's great. I'm going to sound like phony. Who does the music for Sweeney Todd? That's not Sondheim, is it? Cody, fact check me.
No,
I don't know who does the music, and I feel like a phony.
I'm pretty sure it is Sondheim.
Well, let's double check. I just want to make sure I am not a crazy, crazy man. I should know this. Anyways, I saw a production of it, and basically there's a spoiler alert, but the show's been out forever. It is Sondheim.
Sondheim.
Come on.
There you go.
I mixed up Beethoven and Mozart the other day, so I gotta.
So you're just really on your toes.
Yeah, I don't get a hate in the comments again. But there's this moment in the show where the young man, his name is, oh my God, whatever, the young love interest.
Oh.
I feel you, Joanna.
Yeah.
It's not Toby, that's the kid.
Yes.
But his name is we'll call him Frederick.
I like Frederick.
Very much something like that. He is supposed to come in and ruin a moment where Sweeney is about to get revenge right in Act 1, and he's about to kill the judge, Judge Turpin. He's about to slit his throat right there. But right as he's about to do it, Frederick comes in and starts singing about, I'm going to steal away, turns out to be the judge's daughter, and we're going to go live our own life. The judge is like, oh, what? You cannot do this. I hate you and Sweeney because you know this guy. I hate you. Leaves, and now Sweeney's not, he missed his chance. He can't kill the guy. It's a big pivotal moment, right? Pivotal moment.
Yeah.
This night, it's beautiful community theater. I'm in the back of the house with some of my friends. It's outdoor theater too, so we're passing around wine. Outdoor theater is a special thing.
It's really good.
I love it. I had years of it, and I will continue to love it.
Shakespeare
But
in
this
the Park.
night, Shakespeare in the Park.
See?
This performance, however, he's about to kill the judge, and then the door doesn't open. The music's still at a hold. He keeps shaving the judge. He goes to kill him again. Door doesn't open. The music goes ahead and plays that guy's part that Frederick was supposed to come on and sing. He just keeps shaving him. And then it's outdoor theater. You can hear, I won't cuss, but you can hear sounds from the backstage as someone runs onto stage and runs up this box that they've created for the platform. And I mean, opens the door and he's like, "Shimmy, Sunday, what's your rather time?" And they just speed through this thing and they skip to the next scene. And we're like, that was horrible. How painful. This couldn't get worse. Right? Later in the show, Judge Turpin finally gets killed. Oh, finally it happens. It's really good. If you're familiar, Sweeney Todd, a lot of the times they make a box right for the middle of the stage. And typically it's something that they can spin and it's a different spot for each scene, But what's nice is up on top of the box, they'll kill the person in Sweeney Todd and they open a floor trap. So they go down into the box. And then, when they spin the box around, you'll see them laying on the ground, right? That's what's supposed to happen. Instead, Judge Turpin dies. Big moment. Same night, same bag of wine. And as they're spinning, the judge has died. The box flies open and you see the actor who just got murdered just crawling over this thing. And he just looks into the crowd as it opens, and bless this guy's heart for trying at least. 'Cause he goes, as it keeps spinning, it's just you're like, yeah, keep it going. We think you're dead. And then, of course, it comes to the scene where he's supposed to just be laying there, and the dude's got a big old grin on his face. And it's just you can see into this dude's head of this night sucks. I hate this. But meanwhile, we're all in the back just howling, laughing. It's this guy, this poor dude. But that was, that was prime theater. But that's live theater, baby. You
It
know
is
what?
live
I've been
theater.
involved in shows where things have gone horribly wrong. I've sung the wrong note many times. I mean, everyone's had it bad. Oh man. But that night specifically, I lost it. Oh, so fun. I still laugh at that story. Wherever you guys are at, that was a theater in the park. It was a great production. Really, really, truly good. Oh man.
I had my my freshman year men's choir teacher get fired from my high school, and I know the exact moment that they decided to do it.
What happened?
We had this like Christmas performance, and so essentially what it was is all three departments, like the orchestra, the choir, and the band, would get together and they would do like essentially a performance where they would like light one part of the stage, people would play, lights go off.
Yeah.
Lights go on, next people play in like a new area and stuff, and they would go all over the auditorium, and it was really cool. And the men's part came, and we were in like just like one little wing that you would normally just walk into.
Yeah.
So they light us, and we sing the song. We get like 3/4 of the way through, and then our conductor with the biggest smile on his face just goes, and we all stop because that's what you're supposed to do.
Right, of course. We're listening.
And light is still on us. Because the person knows during the rehearsal, they're like, that's not the last chord. So the light's still up. We're all just standing there. He turns around, turns back to us, and starts us again.
They want an encore.
So we did the first half of the song again, and then he just got us, and then we left.
Absolutely.
I was like, good. And afterwards, he was sweating so much. He was like, that was so bad. That's so bad. We were like, no, it's not so bad. And then,
You're like, it's high school. Who cares?
yeah, he did not get invited back next year.
Oh, buddy. It was that bad.
It was. Well, it also may have been the fact that he got in a physical altercation with one of the students. Could have been that.
Is this choir boxing? Is that what this is?
Yeah. It's a little known sport called choir boxing.
All right. And that's the last of the madrigals. 3 minutes on the clock. Here we go. I one time was in a production of Inherit the Wind where I played one of the lawyers.
Okay.
And I was the defense lawyer. And this was one of the final tech rehearsals where my theater teacher thankfully had a sub who was directing us that night, who was not paying attention. And I got away with murder because that night I accidentally skipped from halfway through Act 1 in a monologue to the end of a monologue all the way at the end of the show.
Nice.
And we just I was talking and then I realized what I was saying. And then my eyes got real wide and I kept talking. And I looked at everyone else on stage and they all were just looking at me. And I'm like, what do I do? And then I finished it. And by the way, at the end of that monologue that I finished, that was about a guy who just died. So he just stood up and walked off stage. And I'm like, okay, let's keep going. And then we finished early and the sub was like, that was the fastest you guys ever did. I guess my only note is just slow down a little bit, but have a good night. And everyone's like, Preston, you dumb idiot. We got to go home early.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's fun.
Yeah, it was good.
It's a good time. I was in Agatha Christie's and then there were none. Which is a very, very fun show. And I played the dude who gets shot in the end by the I forget, I think like Lombard or something like that. And then one night I forgot the blood.
Ow, it bounced off. I'm alive. I'm Henry Cavill.
I was supposed to put it like during the intermission, I was supposed to put it underneath the sofa. Like dip my fingers in it, rub it all over the shirt, and then like go up. And I was like, so I took my tie off.
Oh my God.
And I tied it around the spot where I was supposed to get shot.
It's artsy.
I tried my best.
It's artsy. It's a red scarf, right?
I got off stage and my teacher was like, great save. Don't do that again. I was like, yeah, I got you.
Thank you. I'm really sorry. Oh, I'm really sorry. We had a guy for a Midsummer Night's Dream. That's just theater stories now. I'm okay with this.
Welcome to the Nerd Podcast. We started with big men in armor, and now we're talking about
big dancing men
named Puck.
The guy who played Oberon was supposed to come out of this cool rise we had, but he had to stay there for the first part of Act 1.
Yeah.
And so he got his cell phone in there while I was hanging out. during the show, he dropped his cell phone down the elevator shaft.
Yeah.
So we had to send a ferry down under the stage to get the phone, but the ferry couldn't come out until the end of the show.
Right.
So the ferry, looking for the phone, just was hanging out and just ended up falling asleep under the stage. And so the show ended and everyone's like, where's Hirsch? And we couldn't find him. And we're like, I guess he went home. Everyone have a good night. Yeah. And he just fell asleep under the stage and died, I think.
He never came back. I don't know.
Check on him. Hirsch, are you good, man? Are you still under there?
You subscribe, bro?
Let's do a show. Let's do a play or something.
Hey, I'm down.
I'm down.
Be a good one. You want to do like Fiddler on the Roof?
Oh, here you go. Here's a good story for my final one. I did a production of Fiddler on the Roof.
Good.
I am a very confident mover. I'll give you that one. But dancer, you know.
Maybe not a strong suit.
I'm flowy in conversation. On stage, not so much. And there's a part where I played Fyedka. He is the, I guess, head Russian. He's a bad guy. But one of the daughters falls in love with him. What's up? But there is a dance-off in the show, as musicals like to solve problems. And so in this dance-off, me and literally 2 other Russians, that's it. So it's 3 people on stage are doing this dance and it's whatever. And it just gets to a point where the choreographer in rehearsal was like, at this point, we're just going to have Preston now just stop trying. And instead, he's just going to back out. So in the middle of the show, in this like dance, there's no motivation of like, oh, and now he needs to get out of here. It's like dance. And I just bow out and they do flips and gymnastic stuff. And it's amazing. And I'm just in the back like, I have lines later. You know what? They tried with me, and that's what I respect. Another community theater production.
Hey, I'm very similar. I'm also a confident mover, not a great dancer. I did Anything Goes.
Love that show.
Very fun tap show. And there's the big like finale of the first act, big tap number. And like week before Tech Week, my director was like, "Is there anyone in here who doesn't feel comfortable with the choreography?" And nobody raised their hands.
Oh no.
No, nobody raised their hands. And then he looked at me and my friend Austin and went, "Can you two raise your hands?" and we were like, yeah, actually, good point. I hate this choreography. This is awful.
That's how little you knew about the choreography. You didn't even know how to raise your hand without getting instruction.
I was like, you mean flap? I don't know.
Toss a penny, catch a penny.
Right. I'm still trying to learn the windmill. Every once in a while, I'll still get up and just go, got it, and it never.
My improvised dancing is all grapevines and jazz squares, like as basic as it comes, you know? A lot of like bent knees and like, yeah, it's crazy.
Just white person finger wiggle. That's all I got.
You want to know what's funny about? Yeah, that's a new game. Colin, you are a deep nerd, my friend.
I like you. Oh, you are too. It's a good time. You know,
we're 2 cute little nerds just hanging out.
I know.
This is fun.
It was a good time.
This was a good time. If you want to see other nerdy stuff, you can check me out at PrestonOphil.com or Preston O. I'm handing out these little lighters that I've got. If you want to go buy one, they're $5. It's got my little catchphrase there that I can't say on this podcast. But this was really good. Do you got anything to plug?
If you want to send me Warhammer minis, go for it. I'll take fantasy minis even. I don't care. I'll use them for D&D. I'm down.
I love it. Check out the Polar Plunge that's happening this Saturday, the 28th at noon over at Oak Street Park. It's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
We're going to take people out to dinner after. Bob and I are going to freeze our poor little tuchuses off, but it's going to be fun.
I can't wait to watch that.
Yeah. Well, you're going to be warm.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Colin, I love you, brother. Thanks for hanging out.
Well, thank you all for watching Sugar Beats. If you enjoyed this, please go ahead, leave a like and subscribe. Comment down below. What is this thing that we're doing? Is it called Woogity Woogity Woogity? Do you know? Do I know? Thanks so much. Bye.